Well, it's a festive atmosphere here at Sitton Field on the campus of the University of Arizona. And it's the big game, the duel in the desert, the much anticipated final game of the regular season as the 18th ranked Arizona State Sun Devils, who come in here with a record of 6-7. They're 2-1 in the Southwest Lacrosse Conference. Arizona in the midst of a 7-game losing streak, 2-8 by way of record, and still a chance to make the playoffs. But from what we've been told from league officials, Arizona State would have to win by 6 here today to get into the SLC playoffs.
Arizona will have to win by 6.
Arizona, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly. This is a big game, of course. Both teams have something online because for Arizona State, it's about positioning for the playoffs. And Arizona, it's about the possibility of getting into the playoffs. It's kind of interesting, the whole division, with the exception of Grand Canyon, all have losing records. Mm-hmm. And that's a little puzzling to me through my years, but that's the way it is. And Arizona knows what's at stake here, and they're ready to go. Unfortunately, their starting goalie is not going to be playing. He's had to make a trip to the hospital. Not exactly sure what he was doing there. But Justin Pierce, JP, is going to be in the goal, and he's a very capable goalie, and I'm sure he's excited about being in there. And, they talk about relief pitches, Jeff, but, he just found out, an hour ago that he's got to be in the cage. So not a lot of preparation, and but we'll see what happens. And we're starting off with their face-off here. Ung is facing off, Michael Ung, and against the super face-off guy, Trevor Driscoll.
So Trevor Driscoll, and they battle for it, and Arizona is going to come up with the opening face-off. And this game is underway, the duel in the desert. Matt Blamey, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats in his first season. Ben Prupchuk is the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils. He is an interim coach. McRobbie had stepped down at mid-season, and he has taken over, and they won 3 of their last 4 games.
Yeah, this is his 4th game today, and he's got quite the record as far as a player. He's a Canadian, Prepchuk, and he's from just Alberta, just near Edmonton, and he went to college here in Virginia, at Radford University. So he's quite capable. I mean, we know he knows how to shoot. He's played at every level in lacrosse that there is and played well.
Ryan Bradway, who just had the ball, giving it over to Marthins. And Marthins and Bradway are their 2 leading scorers. In fact, Bradway last week in their loss against Grand Canyon had 5 goals in that game, and he's been red hot. He has scored 16 points over the last 3 games for the Sun Devils. No score. We're just underway, a minute and a half into the contest. And there's a turnover, and Exton Bassett, with the good eyes and the good stick skills, comes up with the steal.
Yeah, for you young guys out there, it's always good to have your stick up in the air, and that's exactly how Exton stole that ball. Just basically went right into his stick. It's a great play by him.
Ryan Falbo, and now 2 players slide off of him. He pulls the trigger and leaves it high. He had 3 goals last week in Arizona's tough 12-9 loss at the hands of Grand Canyon. In fact, both these teams' last games were against the defending national champion, the Lopes.
Yeah, I think we played a little better against them from what I could tell from the videos. So I believe that last week's game was probably the best that I've seen them play all year. Yeah. And hopefully they'll bring that same energy right now.
Falbo, get it over to Howard. And now they'll set it back up top. Yeah, it was 7-6 at halftime. Arizona State against Grand Canyon was 5-5 at halftime. As you get a look at Colton Lloyd, one of the local products of the University of Arizona. Or rather, now here is Colton Lloyd, number 5. Falbo with 3 goals last week. He takes a shot. He's taken both shots, and Good job of backing up by Shane Crownhart, who is checked in out of nearby South Point Catholic.
Yeah, Shane's a local product. We have a bunch of local guys here. Shane is one, and Colton Lloyd is another. Colton's going to be graduating. Shane's got another year.
It had to be a thrill for you to be a part of this is actually not senior night, but senior day, as a big save that time by Perlitti. And an interference is going to give it right back to the Sun Devils, and they've got the numbers. They are coming down in transition. It was Merriman or Bassett who had the trailing check that time.
It's not a fast break, but it's an opportunity. But they're going to pull it out. Boyd.
Peyton Boyd, the leading scorer on the team this year with 31 points. He's been the big facilitator coach. He's dished out 18 assists for this Arizona Wildcat team, and they're going to need a few assists from him in this game if they're going to win.
Yeah, he's about ready to crank it up. He had a little letdown against Grand Canyon after we were marveling at him the week before. He's going to be a good player.
Here's Crownhart drawing the slide,
great.
And a nice look inside, and they're going to give the score to Boyd.
That's a yowza.
First score of the ball game belongs to U of A.
Beautiful pass from behind, and Boyd knew what to do with it, and there it is on the scoreboard. Put it on the scoreboard, Wilbur, as we used to say in McHale. Wilbur the Wildcat I'm referring to, of course.
So that makes it 1-0 at the 11:08 mark. So U of A draws first blood against their longtime rivals from the north in Phoenix. Phoenix versus Tucson here today. Technically Tempe.
Yes.
This is our second face-off of the day, and the ground ball is going to be won by ASU. And the outstanding little tic-tac-toe passing, and their leading scorer, Marthins, has put ASU on the board with lightning-like quickness. That was a 7-second play after the whistle at face-off.
And we got to turn around again and give them a yowza for tying the score. And that's one of the things we have to, Arizona's going to have to be careful about, because this face-off guy, Trevor Driscoll, is excellent. He's a junior. And he's got 56 ground balls. That means he's getting most of the ground balls on his face-offs and going to the cage. And he will go to the cage, by the way. He's got a couple of goals.
11:01 on the clock. And we are in a 1-1 tie here. The Territorial Lax Cup here on apnvideo.com. Another face-off win, 2 in a row here for ASU. In a 1-1 tie. So here's Bradway, who had the assist on that last play to Marthins. Marthins, their leading scorer this year with 45 points now on the season. And what a game Ryan had, number 23 for this Arizona State team last week, or 2 weeks ago. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago they played Grand Canyon University, and he had 6 points in that game.
Yeah, he had 5 goals. And 5 goals against Grand Canyon is a nice day. 5 goals against anybody is a nice day, but against Grand Canyon, that's an excellent opportunity. He's had 12 goals in the last 3 games, actually.
That stayed in play, well backed up by ASU. They get a second try here. So their 2 leading scorers had an opportunity to punch it through. Justin Pierce, the backup goalie here for the Arizona Wildcats, but came up empty-handed. 10 minutes on the clock here, first quarter action. We're tied at 1. We're expecting an outstanding game here on a Sunsplash Chamber of Commerce day here in the Old Pueblo.
Yeah, they're kind of waiting their time. There's a loose ball and 50-50 ball.
Well, Merriman had his face on that, but now ASU's got it. And now maybe catching the defense off guard. Pierce challenged the shot. What a job. Now quickly back out low crease. Marthins corralled it. That was a heck of a catch there.
Yeah, he's on his way down.
Broken up on the far side by Michael Ong. Good job. Michael's done a nice job in face-off X. He'll get it up to Daniel Rodriguez, Mr. Transition.
Yeah, we know what he's doing with the ball. So there'll be a little change here while the players, Arizona's getting the players they want on for offense, and they'll be moving the ball around slowly or not moving the ball, period. But here we go. We got one more guy coming on, and then they're ready to go.
And Coach, number 15, Zach Rogers, now in the ball game, and he's been red hot the last 2 weeks. He's put up 6 points over the last 2 weeks, coming off an injury, and he has given them a bit of a lift since coming off the IRL.
Yeah, and again, he's a senior graduating, and he's from the Eller School.
Nice looking pass there, but actually it was broken up by ASU, and the goalie corrals it. So a nice job there by Johnny Perliti. Lead it up ahead. Nice clear. Mathian, the senior.
Okay, so I was mentioning that Rogers is going to graduating from Eller School of Entrepreneurship, and that's what he wants to do in his life. He's going to go back home and get a job in a startup company and then eventually have his own company. So good for him. Hope he'll send money back to the Wildcats.
7:49 on the clock, first quarter. Jake going to work, their leading scorer. He's an X. Facenda on the defense. Work it back around. 1-1 tie here in the first. Now Marthins starts the build-up, and now get it back to Marthins. Quick shot, bounce feed, no good, and that was Bradway who had the big game last week or 2 weeks ago against Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's Facenda is playing pretty good. He's was a little under the weather before the game started today, but he seems to be shaking it off, and I think he understands the significance of the game. He's another senior. His parents were here, and everybody's happy that he's out on the field.
Good check by Merriman, and he's going to clear it for U of A. In a 1-1 tie with 7 minutes left to go, and now he'll slow it down, get it into one of those short sticks. So an excellent play by Casey Merriman from St. Ignatius High School in San Francisco, California, one of the more respectable schools here on the West Coast.
Great school for lacrosse. They've put out a lot of Division I players through the years. We've been trying to get guys from there. Every once in a while we are able to, but generally speaking, they're hard to come by because of their experience and the high quality of play.
1-1 tie, Crown Heart trying to go to work here. Get it back to Rogers and X. ASU, U of A in the all-white. Arizona State in their traditional gold and maroon. The over-the-top shot, and Rogers has found the promised land, and that gives Arizona their second
Yowza
of the day.
Yeah, that was a sweet play, and we were just talking about Zach and how he was ready for a couple of more goals. And so there it is.
Well, I mentioned in last week's game that I felt like he did give the team a lift. I really did.
And we talked about last week also that the team is pretty much, we thought it was going to be pretty much at full strength until the goalie showed up lame.
This would have probably been the healthiest U of A team all season long, and unfortunately Wyatt Hill. But as we got a timeout on the field, it is a U of A timeout, and let's just keep it right here, Coach, and talk about Rogers doing such a great job. That is his 7th point in 2+ games. But talk about right now Justin Pierce, the sophomore guard out of Mount Carmel High in California, and he looks very confident in the crease.
Yeah, Justin, we call him JP, has been chomping at the bit to get some playing time. I think I spent some time with him during the summer, and I didn't know that, and he didn't know that Wyatt Hill was going to be here. But he was up for the challenge, and just he thought it was his time, but now his time is. And you know what they say about being ready when your time comes, and that's all you got to do. And he's a great kid, and he's keeping his spirits up, and I'm looking forward to him having a terrific game.
Well, our game today is being sponsored, a generous sponsorship of Casino Mine Ranch. Casey Merriman, the outstanding defender for the U of A, and his father, some great wines, and apparently we're going to enjoy some of that after the game. I
know. I think it was supposed to be at my door this morning, but now he's telling me I got to walk to it. I thought it was, my stature and all that, I thought it'd be bringing it in a cup.
Well, who knows? There
might
be a stash over there.
I don't want to encourage him either, because he already told me he's got a bad plan.
We're under 6 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. U of A leads it by a score of 2-1. They've gotten scores from Boyd and Rogers, Crownhart an assist. They go for goal number 3 there, and that one heads out onto the main highway.
Yeah, I think I need to move my car.
Actually, I am parked right there. I hope
probably bounced off yours and went through my windshield.
5:23 on the clock. U of A looking very confident here in the early stages. A must-win situation, even with a 2-8 record. They're 1-2 in the Southwest League Conference. We got interference on U of A. Yeah. It'll be Sun Devil possession here, but a victory here. They can go 2-2. If they beat ASU by 6, we have been told that would put them in the playoffs. Though that is still unconfirmed, and we've been trying all week to get an accurate answer on the event that if U of A wins this game, we will have a 3-way tie, 3 teams tied at 2-2.
Yeah, I think that I'd rather mention about we can't do anything about that. We'll discuss that at the end of the game, but we need to play a good game and win by as many goals as we can. But I just want to mention that what happened down the other end of the field, the goalie had the ball in his stick, and he was in the crease, and his stick was checked, and that's where the interference came in. You can't touch a goalie's stick or a goalie when the ball is in the crease.
That's
when he has possession in the crease.
And that's where you got the interference.
Yeah.
That was Ross Andrews, the senior midfielder, taking the shot, 6'2", 225-pounder, number 50 for ASU. In the dark uniforms, Arizona in the all-white. 4:23 on the clock, first quarter action. It's been a clean game so far. Here's Big Andrews now on the angle. This is Marthins. Well, he's had an outstanding season.
He has, and he's just a junior.
Good cross pass that time, but it looks like JP is primed and ready. You talk about putting a guy on the spot. He, like you said, he knew, an hour or two before opening faceoff that he was starting, and so far it's been a good start here for JP in Arizona, who leads it 2-1.
It's actually a good lesson for everybody. You just need to come to the field prepared to play and prepared to play at 100%.
Little scrum down in the corner there. Here they come. Big shot turned away again by Pierce. Another shot. I'll tell you, Jake Marthins, you continue to allow him to shoot with the regularity that he has had so far here, Coach. And it could be a long day for the goalie and the U of A defense. Good check that time by Facenda.
He's had a tremendous season here. He's had 5 games where he's had 4 goals. So he's the real deal. And he needs to be, as you said, he needs to be played a little closer.
Look at Ryan Falbo, the midfielder, doing a great job. Has it broken up. You got to take care of the ball in that low crease area. And then a trail.
That's a goalie ball.
Check there. They didn't back it up. Well, that's a nice defensive play there by Arizona's Harrison Bunham. Long stick midfielder junior out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and Harrison, Harry, as they call him, hasn't been getting that much playing time lately. We saw him play a couple of really good games, and then I don't know what happened, but he hasn't played that much. But that was good play right there, that's for sure.
So Arizona gets it across the halfway line. Still haven't got a touch here, and now finally do with Brett Treaty.
Treaty.
Been one of the key players off the bench for Matt Blamey's team, assisted by Will Lawler, Christian Schaefer, and Dustin Lyons.
Yeah, he's another guy that's graduating and had a good career here. Had too many injuries this year.
Well, one thing we don't want to dwell on, but U of A has won out of the last 10 matchups between Arizona State, 0. They are on a 10-game losing streak head-to-head.
Yeah, I'd
So
like
something's
to.
gotta
Can I
give.
mention that when the last time they
Yes,
won,
go right ahead, sir.
the last time they won, I was coaching.
Yes.
It was in 1827, I think. No, it was
2008.
something. 2007.
Yes.
2007, and we beat them handily. And then we went on to play in the Nationals. But that's 10 years now that we haven't beaten them, so.
Well, 2018
Yeah,
season. How about Falvey?
Sorry. There's the yowza. Now Falva's in the books. That's a sweet shot, too. Nice and high. Goalie had a little piece of it.
So Ryan Falvo scores at the 144 mark for U of A. They've strung 2 scores together here and lead it by a score of 3-1 with 1:45 left on the clock, first quarter action.
Off to a good start, but plenty of time in this game, and they just need to keep that energy flowing and feeling good about themselves and playing with confidence and getting the ball around quickly and getting the ground balls, GBs.
It's all about possession with 1:45 left to play here, opening quarter, 3-1 U of A.
So we got Driscoll here, Trevor Driscoll on the faceoff again with Ang.
Ground ball. Who wants this hot potato?
Those 50-50 balls need to start coming up white.
ASU's won 3 of the 4 faceoffs in this game. Well, we've had 5, so I missed one somewhere. It's 3-2 in favor of Arizona State as we approach the 1-minute mark here in quarter number 1.
3-2 in faceoffs.
3-2 in favor of the Sun Devils.
But not in score.
Not in score.
Where it counts.
It's 3-1 U of A. Here's an opportunity. Didn't take the shot. Now the dodge, backing out.
It's a loose ball.
Tried to get him down that low crease, broken up by Merriman and a couple of others. And a good ride that time. And here's Exton Bassett. He'll bring it up, trying to clear it for the Wildcats. 45 seconds. Thought maybe he's going to take the shot there, Coach.
He would have if he had a little more opportunity. But with 45 seconds, you want to kind of get that last shot. We don't want to give up the ball with 45 seconds. I'd rather go in 3-1 after 1 than giving them an opportunity to make it 3-2.
Well, we're down to 20 seconds.
Well, it's just about time to go.
Well, here's Rogers. He's been one of the hot hands. And, nice look there by Lloyd. Great pass.
And even a better save.
Tremendous job that time by Johnny Perliti.
Yeah, that was a good save because it was a cross crease. That's a good check right there.
Merriman battling. And he's going to get the ground ball, and that will end quarter number 1 here from Sitton Field on the campus of Arizona.
Hey.
The Cats lead it by a score of 3-1, and we'll be back on APM Video Sports in just a moment. Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated number 1 in sports videography. Call today.
This is
all right. Well, we're back here at Sitton Field, 3-1. We got some of the mainstays of the South Point Lancers who had a big win over Notre Dame on Thursday night over at the high school. And congratulations to South Point, a 10-9 victory over the defending and undefeated champions.
Yeah, they looked pretty good the other night. You and I were both at the game, and some of the studs from the game are around here, I think. But, yeah, they had a great game, and their whole attack is coming here next year to play on the green grass in the red, white, and blue. Oh, yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of yowzas at Sitton Field next year.
I hope so. I'm ready. I'm going to work on my larynx all summer long.
All right, we're getting set for quarter number 2 here, period number 2. A 3-1 lead as they get ready to face it off here. And Michael Ong, I thought he had it. He just missed that ground ball, missed the scoop. So ASU an advantage here at face-off X. But the scoreboard tells the story right now. U of A leading at 3-1.
Yeah, and I think that Arizona outplayed them in the first quarter. They showed a little more enthusiasm. They seem to be wanting to play a little faster game than Arizona State right now.
And you know, Coach, it's been a topsy-turvy season for this Arizona State team. Of course, we mentioned Ben Prepchuk took over the team 4 games ago. He's coached 3 of those games. And, you know, you look at the beginning that they had. They won 3 of their first 4 games. Good check from the defense. Arizona State's going to come up with it. They won 3 of their first 4, then lost 5, and now they've won 3 of their last 4. So it's just been back and forth. Big, powerful shot. I think Merriman might have got a...
I think so. It's stopped by the defense. Yep, I think you're right.
Let's see if Casey can come up with that ground ball.
There's a loose ball push, for my money. Arizona ball should be.
Good call, Coach, with 13:51 left to go here in the first half. Arizona looking to extend their lead. They lead at 3-1 as Kerrigan, or check that treaty, got de-sticked, and that's going to turn things back over to Arizona State.
Yeah, while they're bringing the ball up the field, I just want to tell you, we were talking about Arizona State's record. It's very, very deceptive because they lost 7 games. 6 games they lost by 1 goal each. And out of those 6 games, 4 of them were in overtime. So you can't look at that record and say, well, they're having a bad year.
Well, they're going to call a timeout here in the second quarter with 13:31 left to play. Once again, a timeout. This is APN Video. Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
Where's my pad?
All right, we're back here. We're having a really good time here at Sitton Field on the campus of Arizona. And Mickey Miles Felton, the Hall of Famer, joins me. I'm Jeff Lowry with APN Sports. And Mickey, good start.
Yeah, I'd like to mention, Jeff, that if anybody wants to call in, I am at Laxcat Mickey, at Laxcat Mickey. Or you can call me on text or write me on text. Don't call me on text. Write me on text at 520-631-1033. And if you're a bill collector, forget about the number I just gave you.
All right. 13:31 left to go here. I don't know what to say about that. You're probably going to get a lot of phone calls. That thing's going to blow up here in a minute. So Tommy Carrasco and the Sun Devils will restart it offensively, trailing by 2. We were tied at 1 back in the first. We're in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for Steve Francis, my boy Frank, to call in and tell me how the sound is. He's in Las Vegas, an alumni, and worked in production, television.
Is this a takeaway? No. Good job by Ben Parietti, the junior midfielder, keeping possession for the Sun Devils. trailing by 2 with 12.5 left to go here in the first half. It is a breezy day, not like it was Thursday when you and I were over at the Sal Point game. It was winds up to 40 miles an hour that day.
And cold.
And it was a lot chillier, but I'm telling you, today there is not a cloud in the sky, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I'm seeing this big red cloud right over us right here. So that's the only cloud that I can see. It's called a tent, ladies and gentlemen.
We may be getting a little stall warning here coming up shortly. Arizona State hasn't taken a shot in a while. Right now, Arizona State doesn't look like they're on the same page. There's a big quick shot, Pipe City that time, and somehow Carrasco got his own rebound.
That bounced right back to him. You calling it Pipe City? I'm going to try a new name here.
There's a rip and a score.
And a
it's
yowza.
And their best scorer, Jake Marthins, his 46th point of the year, his second goal of the day, and ASU is right back in it.
We'll make that call another time when it's more appropriate, but I'm going to start calling it bar music.
Bar music? Why would you call it bar music?
Because it makes that beautiful sound when it hits the bar across the crossbar.
Okay.
There's nothing to read into that. Nothing
okay.
to read into
I'm going to
that.
write this down for the archive. Michael Ong, once again going up against Driscoll. ASU has the advantage in face-off X, but they trail 3-2 here. We're in the second quarter. 4-2 advantage in face-off X so far. Foul ball. Could have been a little interference there, no call.
Got to come up with that ball right there.
This is a part of the game that I think had U of A done a better job last week against Grand Canyon, and they get a big ground ball right there by Michael Ong, who initially battled for face-off X.
Yeah, that was whoever knocked that ball back into the defensive end it's the guy that needs to be congratulated on that play. And but Michael did pick it up and brought it into the offense. So it's a nice play all told.
So Michael goes off. He's face-off, get off, and coming on is Zach Rogers, 5'10", 170-pounder, and he's one of the hot hands here for Arizona. But I thought if Arizona could have done better in face-off X against Grand Canyon, they could have easily won that game last week.
Yeah, I think that's you've pointed that out, that it's been the last two games, hasn't it? Didn't that? I forget who.
San Diego State.
San Diego State had a phenomenal face-off guy.
And Boston College had a great one. We've seen some pretty impressive guys there.
Well, I know that Ben Callahan is going to get up for the challenge, and he'll come back here next year in a much better way. He's a great kid, and he can't be feeling too good about things right now. He comes from a beautiful family up in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, and he'll get it going.
Perliti with possibly a save there. It's a little tough from our angle. It was a little wide, so they may not give him the save, but nonetheless, 3-2 with 9:40 left to play here in quarter number 2. Well, I know we were talking about Sal Point, the high school right down the road here. They got a pretty good face-off guy too, and he dominated that game, and if it wasn't for his efforts, that could have been a different game too.
Yeah, we're going to encourage everybody from Sal Point to make sure that he comes here. Max.
Love to see it.
Max. And he's apparently deciding between a couple of schools and whether he wants to play or not. You know, sometimes young men have other things that they want to do in life.
They're going to start this out of X with Colton Lloyd. See if he works it over to Boyd. He does. Goal line extended, and the shot is going to be corralled. Another nice job by Perliti.
It's kind of an easy shot to save. Didn't change the level of elevation of the shot, and the goalie had a good look at it.
You're going to get a hold here against Arizona. This is a technical foul, which is a 30-second infraction. So this is the first time either team in this game has been in a man-up or man-down situation, and we're approaching the halfway point here in quarter number 2.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Arizona State's going to bring.
Holding, 30-second penalty.
Whoa, the speaker got louder, huh?
Boy.
That was on Exton Bassett. 30 seconds for holding, as you already said.
That sounded like the PA and the guy. That's almost sounded like John Rice over there. So a man-up situation. They tried to go bottom shelf. Coming up empty-handed was Patrick Haviland, their third leading scorer this year, the senior attackman. But Arizona State was backing up the shot with 8.5 left to play here in the first half.
So we got about 15 seconds left on the penalty. And they're looking to get it hot, but there's the shooter.
Now even, and JP may have got a part of his face on that one. I got to give him a save, and I'll give him a yowza.
I'll give him a yowza, too. Thank you, though.
My pleasure. With 8:05 left to go here, quarter number 2, but Arizona State.
As you can see, Arizona State plays with a lot of poise, but they're really just boring the crowd, to tell you the truth.
They're waiting for that perfect opportunity. They got Pipe City
coming
again.
This way, boys. It's coming this way.
That one hit the left upright and went all the way into the 15th row of stands behind us.
And almost back onto the field.
Out front, this guy right here is dangerous. He's their leading scorer, Martins, 32.
Who's shooting from the other side? Can you tell who that was?
Well, you got Martins is over there now. Another shot taken, this time by Perrietti, junior midfielder.
We got number 39 out there, Tommy Carrasco. I'm kind of looking at him today as a little sleeper.
Instead, it's one of their leading scorers, Ryan Bradway, who had the big game against GCU last week.
Ryan Bradway.
Yeah, Bradway's got, he came into the game with 41 points, 24 goals, 17 assists, so he gets the yowza. He earned that one. It was a nice shot. But I was talking about Tommy Carrasco. He hasn't had I don't follow ASU, so I'm not sure what the situation is, but last year he had 30 goals and 18 assists for 48 points, and right now he's sitting on 18 points. So he could be a sleeper in this game if Arizona starts paying too much attention to the other two guys and leaving him alone.
Need a ground ball here. Michael had the face on it, but then lost it. ASU's going to win this one. Well, one of the reasons, Coach, he hasn't scored as much is because Martins, Bradway, and Haviland have put up some pretty nice numbers. There's a D-stick by Boyd.
Except there's offsides. Yeah.
And the crowd doesn't like the call.
That's a good call. And that should be penalty serving, because he came over that side to knock the stick out of it. It's a good call.
So that's going to put ASU in a man-up situation for the second time in this first half. And we're in a 3-3 tie. I don't think you expected anything else but a good tight game between this, one of the great collegiate rivalries in the country.
Arizona penalty, number 47, offsides.
3-3 tie, man-up situation for ASU.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough play for Peyton. Boyd, but he needs to know where the field is.
Pierce battling inside. He's going to come up with the ball. And now Arizona, they need a good clear. Let's see what kind of ride ASU does here. They got 30 seconds to get it into the box on the other side. That's a high pass. Got to make that pass. That may be just from a little inexperience. And Marthins has just given ASU their first lead of the contest, and he's got the hat trick.
And he's got a definitely yowza on that. On his hat trick, it was unfortunate. The pass was a little high.
ASU goal.
And unfortunately for Justin Pierce, that may just be a situation. He hasn't played a whole lot. Wyatt Hill out for this really pivotal game of the season for U of A. The starting goalie, Wyatt Hill, out of Chaparral High School. And Pierce is in there, and sometimes when you don't have the minutes, you make mistakes like that, and it led to a lead score here for the Sun Devils.
That wasn't a terrible mistake, actually, I didn't think. I mean, it's just a couple inches over his stick, and maybe whoever was catching it could have adjusted to it a little bit.
Marthins pulled the trigger a little early. In fact, Pierce didn't see him take the shot. He didn't actually see the ball until it was halfway there, and fortunately for U of A, Marthins missed the shot. So the Sun Devils enjoying their first lead of the contest. We were tied at 1. Big shot that time, and that's Brandon Rogers, a sophomore, and he's 0 for 2.
You know, I get the feeling just now that they're on to the fact that maybe it's taken them a little while to realize that Wyatt Hill is not in the cage. And so that's why they're starting to shoot the way they are. They're just letting it fly here.
So we've had 2 ties, 2 lead changes. ASU leads at 4 to 3. They're shooting about 20%, I think, in this first half with 5:27 on the clock. They have gotten 3 goals from Marthins.
I'd like to mention the fans are coming in droves here. I think I just saw 2 busloads come in. Here's another group coming in.
Military get in for free, I understand. And
yeah, children under 50 get in for free too.
Yes. 4-3. We're just under 5 minutes left to go. Good job by Daniel Rodriguez. Good footwork on that. Defensive stand there on 31. Haviland, their 3rd leading scorer this year. Merriman wreaking havoc with Bassett up top. High crease. Good job of passing, and JP comes up with a monster save for U of A.
That was a great save, and what made it really great is we end up with the ball.
Now Rodriguez,
maybe not.
He's not going to be able to keep this in play. It was a valiant effort. He dives. He was the last one to touch it. Rodriguez of Arizona, and now Arizona State will restart it, but they will have to start it back in their own half.
To start the play where the ball went out of bounds.
I think Brandon Rogers was trying a little trickery there for Arizona State. Big shot, big save, JP. That keeps it at 4 to 3 with 4 minutes and 9 seconds left to play here in the first half.
See, what do you think about the theory about their shooting? It really seems like they're just not waiting for anything and they're just firing. Maybe it's their game plan. Maybe they decided to slow things down in the first quarter and then, fire it up in the second quarter. It's Mrs. Bassett.
You know, you talk about that style of play, and I think a lot of coaches do that because they want to just, minimize mistakes. But then it minimizes your possessions and essentially your shots. Okay, now the big dodge. Crownhart, he's going to be turned away. Johnny Perliti has had a nice game here, too, for Arizona State, who leads at 4 to 3 with 3:10 on the clock, second quarter action.
Yeah, he has had made some nice saves and has gotten the ball out. Arizona hasn't put too much pressure on Riding, which is probably their philosophy here today.
Pass.
There's a save.
JP, another nice save.
That was a rocket point-blank save. Beautiful.
Perrietti took that last shot for the Sun Devils. He's the ball carrier now. Bunham, good check out top. 2.5 on the clock. Arizona State leads at 4-3. Ground ball. Oh, we needed a ground ball there by Gloyd. Musa Gloyd is in there now.
There's a loose ball push. Haven't seen Musa play that much. Musa's a graduate student. He's got a great story. There's another save, by the way, while I was yapping away here. But Musa's folks are here. It's the first time they've been here. And he's graduating from graduate school.
Well, congratulations to him as Rogers will clear it. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. It's been a very quick moving first half here in this game. It's Arizona and Arizona State on apnvideo.com. Boyd, he's been quiet the last 2 days. That can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I just not sure if he doesn't have his confidence the way it should be. We talked about him with such praise before during other games. So he just needs to get something going.
Well, I think Crownhart and Rogers have been a little more aggressive. Crownhart's the ball carrier here. Of course, he played at South Point High School, had an outstanding high school career. Kevin Krieger, shot, corralled. I'm not sure. I don't know what he was trying to do there, if that was just trickery or what. But
yeah.
I think they may have just thrown the ball away
they have.
down in by X, and that one is.
Must have been off of Boyd's stick.
One of the disadvantages from our vantage point here, our broadcast area, is that there are people standing in front of us from time to time, and we don't see quite 100% of what's going on.
But I think this electric prod thing is working pretty good, though. Getting them away, you know?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Give them a little shock. So Arizona calls timeout with 43 seconds to go to set something up. And again, to keep the ball back down in this end of the field for the next 43 seconds.
We're back here at Sitton Field, a 4-3 lead for visiting Arizona State, and playoff implications on the line. Arizona State wins, of course, they will be into the playoffs this year. If U of A wins, it would create a three-way tie, but Arizona would have to win, I think the second playoff tiebreaker would be point differential, so they would have to win by 6. That one almost snuck through. JP doing a great job in relief of Wyatt Hill, the starting goalie this year for Arizona, and he can't stop that one. Top shelf, Ryan Bradway, one of the top players in the SLC, and he has his second point of the game, and it's 5-3 Arizona State.
ASU goal by Ross Andrews, number 50.
Ross Andrews, he called?
Yeah, I think it was Bradway.
We're going with Bradway. It's a yowza for Bradway and a pretty good goal with 15 seconds to go in the quarter. But there's still time to get another one for Arizona.
15 seconds. Arizona State has doubled up. The Wildcats in face-off X, they just did it again. The shot is going to be backed up by ASU, so they will retain possession. Plenty of time to score. We got a technical foul. We got a flag all the way up, well, somewhat near midfield.
It looks like it's going to be against Arizona because the players that are coming onto the field.
Now, Falbo, it's on Falbo, I believe, and he got hit for an unsportsmanlike last week against Grand Canyon.
Well, let's see. It's a technical foul, though.
A penalty, Ryan Falwell, number 1, 30 seconds for interference.
Interference. He must have blocked somebody coming on. Here's the situation now where you want to take a quick look, and if you had something this way, they end up with the ball in their stick, and they end up with the ball in the stick to start the second half of the game. With Arizona State up 5-3.
So 5-3 is our score. We're going to take a quick break here at halftime, and let's send it to commercial. 5-3, Arizona State.
Sure that the C word.
Yeah, it was out of there. Yeah.
Some people have fear of the F word. Mine's the C word.
Well, the funny thing is, for Casey's little crew, which again, there's 10 or 11 D1 guys. D1 is becoming
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today. All right, we're back here at Sitton Field, a 5-3 lead for Arizona State University. Back here with the Hall of Famer, Mickey Miles Felton. I'm Jeff Lowry, our entire APN crew here. Very entertaining first half. But one of the things we didn't really get a chance to talk about, we got about another minute or so before the opening face-off to the second half as we bring you the duel in the desert. The top 6 in the country. You've got Chapman, who played for a title last year, lost to Grand Canyon University. Grand Canyon coming in at 6. Concordia, Irvine, ASU, and University of California, Santa Barbara all in the top 20 representing the Southwest Lacrosse League.
Yeah, well, that's interesting that you bring that up. We're very proud of what we've accomplished out here in the West. In fact, there was a time when we talked about having regional playoffs for the national championship. And it turned out that if we played all the teams against each other, like the Rocky Mountain League and the WCLO, Western Collegiate Lacrosse League, and the SLC, we'd be knocking off some of the best teams in the country. So we put our foot down here, and that never happened. And we've continued with 18 teams, 16 teams going to the Nationals in Division I and also in Division II. So there's 32 teams that go to the national championships, and we'll have to I need you to say something.
Well, Arizona State with a 2-goal lead. They've been to the national title 3 times, yet to win one. Arizona has been to the dance 9 times, not to the finals, but to the national tournament. And the second half will start with Arizona State in possession and leading it by a score of 5-3. And here's the first shot of the second half, and ASU strikes with lightning-like swiftness, and that is Bradway's third. He has 4 points.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that was gets a yowzer right here. And
ASU goal number 23, Ryan Bradway.
yeah, it's Bradway. I mean, he's the guy we talked about earlier, and we keep talking about him because he keeps scoring goals. But he had 7 goals, 12 goals in the last 3 games, and he's adding to that goal mine right now today. His face-off coming off with 14:48 in the third quarter. That was, as Jeff already mentioned, that was a pretty quick goal and unfortunate, but let's see, now that was Trevor Driscoll winning the face-off and taking the shot. And that was something we talked about earlier, that he's taken a lot of shots, so he really needs to be watched because he picks up a lot of ground balls. And, yeah, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Well, Arizona State up by 3 now, so U of A is going to have to pull it together. They led at one point 3-1, but ASU has reeled off 5 straight goals here to take a 3-goal lead here in quarter number 3. They take another big shot there, big right-hander, Thomas Carrasco.
Yeah, that's Thomas Carrasco. That he's been shooting a lot lately, and I was a little concerned about what he was going to be able to do, if he was going to be ignored in this game after his 48 points last year.
Welsh gets the ground ball, keeps the possession alive for Arizona State. They lead by 3. We'll get that scoreboard corrected here. 13:40 on the clock here as we start the third quarter of play. I'll tell you, this deliberate offensive style ASU has brought to Tucson, they're not giving U of A too many offensive opportunities. They take another big shot and a big rip there, and that's a save for Justin Pierce, 5'11", 190-pounder.
Yeah, Justin J.P. Pierce is he's doing a yeoman's job here. Hate to use cliches, but he is. And it's Baker mishandling the ball, but he's got it again.
Baker has had some good games for this Wildcat team in defense. Get it up quickly to Callahan, Ben Callahan. Might be the first time Ben's been in the game out of Desert Vista.
Absolutely. It's good to see him on the field because he hasn't been facing off at all, and that's his job generally. So to give him some playing time, make him feel a little better, that's a good thing. And Ben will play hard no matter what.
Mathian on Rogers. Rogers looking for a wing dodge. He's dodging in. Got pushed out of there. That was a nice check there by Mathian. He's a senior, but he stays with it. What resilience.
Let's see if they call that a goal. Hold on.
Let's see if the hands go up. That might have been a crease violation, and that's exactly the call. Nope, it was a push.
A push? Well, if it's a push, it should be Arizona's ball. And that's a bad call. That's a horrible call. Because if it's a push, it should be a delayed whistle. That's a terrible call. I don't know what to say about that. Maybe I'm not totally understanding it, but...
Well, Matt Blamey is not contesting it.
Well, that means that he was in the crease before he shot. Before the ball, not before he shot, but before the ball crossed the goal line. And that's a little tough for us to see from this angle.
So Colton Lloyd taking the shot that time. Boyd backing up nicely. Peyton Boyd's got to get this thing going. He has 1 point in the last 6 quarters. Howard takes a shot, but a little too weak. And another save for Perliti.
Well, that's the first time we've seen Jeff Howard handle the ball in a while. So,
I'll tell you right now, I think the hot hand for Arizona's Rogers. I think you got to figure out a way to give him some more shots.
Yeah, I agree. Rogers and Falbo.
And even Shane Crownhart. I think Shane's been playing with more confidence over the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
But ASU has went up on another shot and another score by Ryan Bradway.
Number 23, Ryan Bradway.
Yeah, Ryan gets a yowza again. He scored the last 2 goals and maybe even one from the second quarter. Not sure, but he had the first goal and the second and this one now.
6 unanswered goals for Arizona State.
So this becomes a tense time for coaches and players. Now, there's plenty of time in the game, but Arizona hasn't scored in quite a while when they had a 3-1 lead. So ASU has scored 6 unanswered goals. And we got to pick up these balls instead of flying them in the air. Not to say he's not working hard.
Boy, what an effort that time by Dangler. He dives. An illegal procedure and give it to Arizona. I'm not sure what happened there. What a tremendous gutsy play. Let's see if this gets Arizona going with Exton Bassett. Keep it in play here. This is a big ground ball by Huber.
We haven't seen him in the game at all.
And he scored a goal in last week's game against Grand Canyon. Unsettled ball. This is a big ground ball here, and Howard comes up with it. Outstanding job. Get it to Boyd.
Flag is down.
Boyd able to save it. Exton battling hard.
Flag is down, ball is down, whistle is blown.
It's going to be a push with possession, and that's going to go against Arizona State. And this is the first time U of A has been in a man-up situation in this game. And we are approaching the 30. We are in the 35th minute of play.
Yeah, so this is a 30-second penalty, which kind of goes by fast, but this doesn't need to be rushed. You know, they need a goal right now to change the momentum of the game or to at least get them back on the scoreboard. So the best thing they can do is just wait for that good opportunity. Move the ball around fast, get it hot, and get some bodies moving.
Here's Boyd going to work, swimming through, and Perliti comes up with another save for Arizona State. I'll tell you, he's been a monster here, and now you get into the crease, in and out. And that's going to turn it right back over to U of A. The penalty, you got roughly, we'll say 10 seconds.
Yeah, they got enough time to do something here.
Plus the 2 or 3 seconds or 4 seconds it takes them to bring another guy onto the field. Now the Sinton field rule is that screen is out of play.
Absolutely.
This isn't arena lacrosse, so if you're watching at home, just in case.
That's a good call, Jeffrey.
Good clear by Zach Mathian. And he'll get the tap into the box, and they can settle in 6-on-6. We're even now. 9.5 on the clock, third quarter action. Arizona desperately needing some offense. They have not scored since the tail end of quarter number 1. And Arizona State has scored 6 in a row.
Yeah, we're getting some numbers here about for the crowd that I'll be able to announce in a little bit. We should have a contest for the crowd, you know, people
Guess
the number of people.
that was Haviland taking the shot, one of their top scorers this year for Coach Ben Prepchuk, assisted by Cody Sobrains, Jeff Wasson.
Jeff Wasson played at, I hope I don't have this backwards, but he played at Clark University and coached at Curry College, both in Massachusetts. So he's another good qualified assistant coach.
And Pat Harbison is the other one.
It's a shot and a save.
This one is going to go out of play.
That's a white ball.
And white ball. Lax cap ball. 8:33.
Once again, folks, the player that's closest to the ball when the ball goes out of bounds on a shot, and it doesn't matter where the ball is going out of bounds. As you just saw, went out of bounds 40 yards up the field. But Jeff Howard was closest to it, and that's why Arizona has the ball at this moment.
Desperate need of a goal here. They trail by 4, 8:09. Left to play here, third quarter action. Here's a dodge, Falbo. Hasn't had too many opportunities. He's open, he scores. Oh, what a beautiful shot that time by Ryan Falbo. And how bad did U of A need that?
They needed it bad. They needed another Yowza on the board. And Ryan, it was a terrific shot because he waited for the right moment. He went past the goalie and backhanded it underhand in. And great goal, important, and brings it to a 7-4 score of a 3-goal deficit.
For Ryan, that is his second goal of the contest, and there was no slide on defense. He was wide open. It was mano-a-mano, and a rarity that you get as ASU wins yet another face-off.
Yeah, Driscoll.
9-4 advantage, if my statistics are correct. 23 Bradway has been impressive. He's got 4 goals this afternoon here from the University of Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. And he had 5 last week, or actually I keep saying last week, their last game, which was 2 weeks ago against the defending champion Grand Canyon University.
Yeah, that was the 31st of March. He did have 5 goals. He also had an assist in that game. And as we keep mentioning,
JP with a save.
Yes, JP with another. I would give JP a yowzer because we need Arizona needs the ball right now.
I'll tell you,
not a panic time or anything. It's still 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, but I don't want to see them shooting. Sorry, Jeff.
That's okay. That's okay. You know, you may want to get that a little closer, just a little bit. Little equipment adjustment on the air. Sorry, folks. We don't have a red button. 7-4 is the score. 6.5 left to play here. We're in the third quarter. All right, U of A, the ball carriers, Rogers, and now Crownhart. These are two of the guys we talked about. Might be the hot hand here for Matt Blamey's team. Rogers on the roll dodge, or bull dodge, and that one caught Pipe City. Nice rip, but caught Pipe City. Need a ground ball here. I think Arizona State has had the advantage in ground balls here. There is a flag down on the play. What a job by Justin Gray, who was one of the outstanding long stick midfielders for the Arizona Lacrosse League, played up at Chaparral a couple of years ago and comes from a great lacrosse family. That's a hold. 30-second technical foul. Let's see who it's against.
Looks like it might be against Shane. Or
Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd.
Well, Boyd is over there talking to Cole Day. You got Cole Day. You got Adamick, the Hall of Famer, the official. We didn't get the official's name, and I don't recognize the gentleman over in the corner.
Well, that's his mom right there, taking pictures for ASU. He played at ASU.
Played for Gilbert.
He actually
Tigers.
coached at ASU.
Shot wide, and again, Tommy Carrasco, the senior midfielder, taking the shot. .542 left to go here in the third. And a 7-4 Arizona State lead. Falbo has scored twice for U of A, the Wildcats, to lead his team. And Mr. Bradway for the opposing and visiting ASU Sun Devils has 4 goals, and Marthins has 3.
I just got a text from the Callahans, in case you're wondering why they're not here tonight, this afternoon, and they usually are here. That's Ben Callahan, number 36, his folks. Great people from up the road. Their son plays for Desert Vista, and they've got an important game up there today. I don't think it's as important as this game.
Well,
but,
no,
you know.
considering they're playing, I believe they're playing Corona. So Merriman with a takeaway.
It's senior night.
Oh, it's senior night?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so that's my bad.
So Huber's got it. Merriman doing what Merriman does. And we finally had a chance to meet the owner of the Casino Mine Ranch.
We did.
Mr. Merriman, who is sitting right off to our right. A very ingratiating man and a big sponsor of the broadcast and U of A Wildcat Lacrosse.
Yeah, you could tell he's a successful soul because he is very aggressively
charismatic, I think, is the word.
Yeah, he's charismatic for sure. Yeah, much better word. But, yeah, we're just trying out his wine. We only have like a little ounce.
Rogers,
Ooh.
Nice opportunity there. Boyd, that must have been a nice little check inside there by Kostler, the sophomore long stick midfielder for ASU. 3:45 on the clock. Third quarter action. Falbo going to work. And taken away by Thomas Sanchez. Flag down on the play. And now another flag.
Yeah, those are both going to be on Falbo. The first one was a slash, and the second an ill-advised slash, and the second one was
and another big shot by Bradway. He has been going top shelf, it seems like, every time. He has got a powerful right-handed shot.
Yeah, those penalties are both there's time serving. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, they're both going to be time-serving penalties. The first one was a slash, which was a minute, and that's a time-serving penalty that was not wiped out by the goal. And then I believe he had an unsportsmanlike or an unnecessary roughness, which might have been another 2 minutes, or it was 2 minutes total.
Well, there's the official making the call, slash, 1 minute. And then they're going to wave off. Are they going to wave off one of them? Falbo can't believe
Penalty
it.
number 1, Ryan Falbo, 30 seconds.
Matt Blamey, the head coach, over by the scorer's table, talking to Ryan.
If he got away with a 30-second penalty, he's lucky, because his slash was in anger. He had just gotten the ball taken away from him, and he should know better, because this is not the time of the game that you need to be messing around that way.
3:16 left to go. Another opportunity for Bradway, and he finds a wide open Haviland in the low crease, and this one's getting away from U of A.
It's a yowza for ASU there for Haviland, and Haviland's been having a pretty nice season. He's had 26 goals and 8 assists coming into the game, and this is his third year playing. In his first year, he had 20 goals and 10 assists for 30 points, and he's already broken his goal record, and we'll see about his assist record.
So Arizona State enjoying their largest lead of this contest, 9-4. Losing their last game. Prior to that, they had won 3 straight. Arizona has not won a game, as JP comes up with a nice save there at point-blank range on that shot by Arizona State University. They have not won a game since February. And, Coach, that's the last time I'm going to mention any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's.
But it bears mentioning. And this is a game. Now, we still got 17, almost 18 minutes left to go here. And if you can string a couple of goals together here, let's get Boyd going here.
Yeah, it seems like you've been asking for Boyd all day, and but I can't believe he gave the Falbo. I'm still shocked that Falbo's on the field right now.
Well, Falbo's been one of the hot hands for this team. 3 points last week, and 2 goals here today.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to be on the field. He's
Rogers,
a team leader.
Nice job. Bounce feed with a blistering shot that rattles the back of the cage.
And
Zach Rogers.
Yowza for Zach.
Number 15, Zach Rogers, unassisted.
Okay, Jeff, let me mention something to you there. Look at the tenacity that he used to score that goal. He was not giving up, and there's just not enough of that going on this field here by Arizona.
Well, I don't want to say anything derogatory about the Wildcats, but I completely agree.
Well,
Boyd has not been aggressive. Howard, now I don't know if Howard's knee is still bothering him, but we're not seeing that typical play from those 2 guys and a couple of the others.
Right, and it's not the Wildcat team, but it's definitely the leaders that need to be going to the cage. And, hopefully a play like that will show everybody it can be done.
And Matt Blamey's going to have to find an answer with the face-off wars. I mean, they've almost tripled up the Wildcats in face-off X.
Yeah, it's been a problem for the last few weeks. And I know they're addressing it, but they just haven't been able to solve it.
Now, Coach, I want to ask you something, and I believe in face-off wins. Do I make too big a deal about it?
No, because, if you're winning face-offs, you're possessing the ball. It's a pretty simple concept. I think you're 100% right. The only problem is that you've heard me say this before, but statistics are like bikinis. They show quite a lot, but they don't show everything. And we've seen games where teams have totally dominated on ground balls, and yet the other team has
what a
won.
save by JP, by the way. Well, and I've said this on our Arizona high school games. Is a big shot there, and JP got a piece of that one. It's going to ricochet over all the way to the scorers table at midfield with 42 seconds. If you're a 12-0 team and you're playing a 2-10 team and you're a much better team, that lower team can win as many face-offs as they want. They're probably not going to win the game.
You're right, because they're going to lose the ball at the other end of the field. But
when you're on relatively even terms, it is vital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be, and it definitely can be. I mean, we've seen it happen here. We've been witnessing it in the last few weeks.
Down to 15 seconds here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was an errant pass. That was a bad pass by Arizona that turned the ball over here.
They're still very much alive, but they got to play enough defense here in the next 3 seconds. And they're going to get a shot off, and they come up empty-handed. Last shot taken by Brandon Rogers, and that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Arizona State 9, U of A 5. And we'll be back with the fourth quarter on APN Video Sports in just
me? Okay. Thanks for being here.
What? I don't know.
back here at Sittenfield, campus of the University of Arizona. We're getting set for the fourth period of play. 9-5 visiting Arizona State. They hold on, Coach. They'll be the number 2 seed in the Southwest Lacrosse Conference playoffs.
And I believe if they are the number 2 seed, they will not be traveling. Or they get a bye.
They'll host Grand Canyon and Chapman. Chapman, the number 1 team, ranked team in the country, both advanced to the semifinals in the SLC playoffs. So now Arizona State moving from left to right.
Actually, I didn't know that Chapman moved back into the number 1 spot.
The Utah, number 2, Colorado 3, South Carolina 4, Michigan State 5, and as we mentioned, Grand Canyon University. We might have an injured player here. That's Ryan Falbo. Matt Blamey and the trainer out to make sure that one of their top weapons is okay.
Where's Grand Canyon? Did they move up to 5?
They're 6.
They're still at 6.
But they are the 2. They would be the 2 seed in the Southwest Lax Conference. In Arizona State, it's kind of interesting.
I thought they would be number 1 seed because they're the number 1 team in the Southern Division of the conference, and then Chapman would be the other number 1 team.
Okay, I guess you could look at it that way. But Grand Canyon, and here's a shot, and we got another score here, or is that a grandma goal?
Well, he's pulling it out of the cage, so I got to believe it's a Yowza goal. I didn't actually see it.
Ben Parietti.
Well, Ben
Ben
Parietti.
Parietti.
I did not see the hands go up, so that makes it 10-5 here in favor of visiting Arizona State. Yeah, getting back to that playoff scenario, nonetheless, Glendale, or rather Grand Canyon and I got to look, Chapman are
Right.
going to get a bye into the semifinals.
Yeah, that's because they're number 1 seeds in the Southwestern Lacrosse Conference.
Right.
I want to make that clear.
And then the other thing, Coach, and it's they kind of flip-flop it, I believe, if I read it correctly. Chapman would play, let's say Arizona wins, depending on who they get, and well, they'll play San Diego State. So the winner of that game actually plays Chapman. And I don't.
Yeah, 1 plays 4.
Right.
1 plays 4.
Or the one would play the lower seed.
So anyway, let's stay in this game for right now.
Did I confuse you?
No, I woke up this morning confused. Matt Holman confused me. Hi, Matt. Thanks for the tip, buddy.
All right, 13.5 on the clock. Well, the great Elvis Presley had a #1 hit, and it was called It's Now or Never. That would be the situation here for the Cats.
And all this time I was thinking it was Love Me Tender.
10-5, Arizona State.
Good check by Bassett.
Yeah, good effort out there. Need a turnover here. If you're a Wildcat fan, nice swim,
Ugh.
bottom shelf.
Somebody needed to be helping the goalie on that. I still give the player a yowza, but
That was Haviland.
Haviland. Yeah, he was just Haviland. He was just standing. It was like that goal you talked about before. He's just standing in front of the crease, and nobody's helping out the goalie. He's doing all these jukes up there, high, low, putting him on the elevator, taking him down, sending him up to 5th floor lingerie, and he wasn't helping him. He wasn't getting any help, and that's not a good sign from Arizona. If they're not going to play aggressively, they need to.
Well, they've been tripled up on face-off wins by Arizona State. Callahan's in there now. And a big problem, they've just not been able to get a ground ball coming off face-off. And look at that.
Absolutely.
Zach Mathian.
Yes, Arizona's missed quite a few opportunities on the ground balls, especially those 50-50 balls. Oh, yeah.
Where did you come up with the catchphrase "Yowza"? Before our season's over.
That's a good question. It's just my enthusiasm, I think, and my passion for the game and the sport that I love so much. And we're playing with my sound here, but it became, and then I switched over to, after several years, over to "Oh Yeah," because I was getting the guys riled up with, "Are you ready to play? Oh yeah. Are you lying to me? Oh no." And so the "Oh yeah," I've used the "Oh yeah" actually.
You have a T-shirt that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I saw that online.
That was
this morning.
Online, you saw it?
Yeah, I thought you looked like Maximilian Schell on that T-shirt, by the way.
That was given to everybody in Israel during the World Team tryouts last summer. And it's supposed to be a likeness of me.
Turned away by JP again. Good aggressive dodge by Ben Parietti, who scored 2 goals ago for ASU, who leads it by 6 here in the 4th. 11:39 left to go here in regulation. One of the other questions I wanted to ask, Arizona's being deliberate here, so we can maybe talk a little lacrosse. Now, 2 days ago, we had gusts here in Tucson of 40 miles an hour. It's not that bad here, though. It's probably 15. As the shot taken, top shelf, and he has made a living up there. That is Bradway's 6th goal of the day.
Not sure why he's so open.
To goal, number 39, Tommy Carrasco.
So the question is, was that Carrasco, or was that Ryan Bradway? And we'll have to get back to you on that one, huh? This is why we don't have a communication. Not that we're making excuses, but we are. We don't have communication with the scorers table, and it's all the way on the other side of the field. So we see what we see, and we call what we call, and we'll correct anything that we can find out needs to be corrected. But my partner here, Jeff, has great eyes, not to mention his great voice, but he's got great eyes. And
I'm still not buying you dinner.
Well, why are you giving me all this wine?
Not me. All right, we're down to 11 minutes left to play here. Now Boyd.
And I should say that we're not making light of this game or the score in the game.
No, but I wanted to ask you about wind conditions in Lacrosse, and if it's really blustery, it's not bad here, but if you're dealing with 20, 25-mile-an-hour winds, I mean, obviously in baseball and football, that can affect the way the game is played. And here is Lloyd dodging very aggressively, and a nice turn away there by Johnny Perliti, the goalie for Arizona State. Now Rogers. Rogers, one of those hot hands that we've been talking about, moving left, moving right.
They're playing really good defense on these guys, though. Not letting them get their hands free, not letting them move to where they're trying to. And I just think they have to go harder.
Nice looking shot, but Howard comes up empty-handed. How about the wind?
So
Does that affect it?
The wind and the Holy Ghost. I think that as a player, I can speak a little more about it as a player, and I never remember running up the field or taking or doing something lacrosse-wise and saying, boy, the wind is really killing me.
Boy, what a job by Perliti again. He's had a great game for ASU in goal.
But when it's like when Cascade, actually Sport Helmet came out with the Cascade, they gave it to me to try it up in Vail, Colorado, along with a bunch of other people. And I told them that
good play by Gray there. Nice check, pushing Boyd out.
They asked me what I thought of the helmet after I played in Vail for a week. And I said, well, it's definitely lighter, but I never remember running up the field thinking, oh, man, my helmet is so heavy. So I think it's the same thing with the wind. And, I mean, it's gusty, yeah, and if the dust is getting in your helmet, though, that could be a major problem.
Yeah. 12-5, 8:53 on the clock. Howard's taken 2 shots on this possession, and it's been a long possession here for U of A. They take another shot. Tough angle that time for Rogers on the far side, and corralled again by Johnny Perliti.
Well, at least he's shooting, because I'm telling you, you can't score goals unless you shoot. I believe that's on page 1 of the book, How to Win a Game. But, and there was the same thing with Lloyd. He's going to the cage, too, and they just need to do it, get a little more of the middies up top, just deciding I'm going to the cage and nobody's going to stop me.
This is Andrews. Ball carrier, Bassett. Bassett's had a solid year, very good year for this U of A team. Long stick midfielder.
Yes, he has, and he's also a very important part of the team. He's one of the team leaders, and he'll be the man here next year, I believe.
And a special thanks to Jeff Bassett. He's helped us out in getting these games produced this year, and special thanks to him and Coach Matt Blamey. And we've had a lot of fun here.
We have, and I second that about JB, Jeff Bassett. Jeff played for me in the late 80s, and he just missed our championship year by 1 year. But his brother scored the winning goal in that championship.
Good ground ball by Boyd.
Yep. And the flag is down.
That might be a slash. That might be another one. Here's another flag. Here's Boyd turned away.
See, Boyd could have kept going on that. You know, he made that good look to pass the ball behind, but that wouldn't have done any good. Why pass he was going to the cage. Why do you want to pass the ball? And he knew that. He was just faking. And if he just would have maybe taken another step, he might have had a better opportunity. But the opportunity's here now with a man-up situation. And I believe the penalties were on both penalties were on the same player. So that would mean he's probably in the box there for 2 minutes.
Well, one of them was a push, so it was a technical foul. So 90 seconds of penalty here. Of course, the two would be released on a score.
Was the first penalty a push?
Yes.
Okay.
And this one is, well, will it stay in play? Nope. And ASU has it.
Yeah, now let's see what they do. See what they're doing. They're letting ASU clear the ball here. And at this point in the game, I can understand that they're earlier in the game, but at this point in the game, you just can't let these guys run around with the ball. You got to make an effort. You're down by 7 goals.
Yeah. 6.5 minutes left to play. We've seen a better ride from this U of A team than that one. That one, I'd have to agree with you.
Well, why not? You're up a man. Everybody gets on a man, and you don't leave a guy with the ball alone.
You're up a man, and you still had a good 75 seconds in the penalty. So now Arizona State trying to add on to their 12-5 lead. And JP turns Carrasco away. He didn't have much mustard on that one.
No, but he still needed to make that save. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, a magic wand there with Peyton Boyd.
He can go over now.
That should have been an over and back. No call. Here's Ryan Falbo. Falbo, not very aggressive. I guess we are even now. Thought we had a little more time than that. Yeah, here comes the sixth player for Arizona State. As U of A, not much urgency here. They had a 6-on-5 when they settled in on their offensive half of the field and really did not go aggressive. I think Ryan Falbo should have just taken that one to the house. He's going to try here, and that one is going to be deflected out front by Thomas Sanchez, a junior defender for ASU, backed up by Lloyd of the Wildcats.
I should announce the attendance before that gets by me. Well, I want to mention that last week we broke a record here with 12,147 people, and this week, unbelievable, we had 12,146.
Is that one more than last week?
It's one shy of last week.
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable.
And part of that is your terrible Twitter feed. Crownhart pulling the trigger and leaves it wide to the right. 4:22 left to go here in regulation. You got to get that Twitter thing all fixed.
For the future?
For the future. I mean, you know, you're a marketing machine. I'm disappointed.
Maybe I'll ask hey, Josh, can you tweet me?
Zach Rogers taking that left-handed shot. Broken up out front. Lloyd. Crownhart. Tried to find Crownhart, and he had it taken away. Nice takeaway by Arizona State. Here's the clear. This is Carrasco going to work again. DePurdy Over to Roth and stop and play. I think we got a timeout here.
Yep.
Arizona State with 3:44 left to play. So with the timeout, we'll take 1-2. You're watching Arizona's leader in sports. Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today. All right, we're back here at Sitton Field, home of the University of Arizona Wildcats. It was a close game for a good chunk of it, but this second half has been dominated by the Sun Devils.
Yeah, well, it started off with that goal within, 10 seconds coming out of the half, right off the face-off.
Hello, we do have fans here. See, you gave your phone number out. Now they're coming in flocks.
Well, it's good that they're coming live instead of calling me, though. At least I can get a hug.
Arizona State has done it again. First goal of the night for Vito DePerte. He is a junior attackman.
Number 5, Vito
And that makes it
DePerte.
13-5 with 3:37 left to play here. So Arizona State continues to be impressive. They have scored 8 of the last 10. And 3 minutes and 37 seconds separates Arizona State from a playoff berth. Alongside Mickey Miles Felton, Jeff Lowry, Gail Lowry on camera.
Just don't mean to interrupt you, but I just got word that we have people in South Africa listening in on your broadcast, and Australia. And they're significant people.
Stephen in South Africa.
Stephen, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for listening in.
And Terry from Australia as ASU tries to score again.
Actually, you're not listening, you're watching. But thank you so much. I hope we're doing you justice here. I hope you guys have family and stuff that play lacrosse. Sorry we couldn't have a little better game here. With 3 minutes to go, it's 13-5.
Well, and another thing, Coach, we got to say hi to all the Sun Devil fans that are watching our broadcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we've given them a few yowzes here today.
I gave them a yowzer on every goal, and even on the goalie, and wanted to let them know since they don't like me too much, but that's okay. But I'd rather talk to the people in South Africa and Australia. I spent some time at the World Games in 2002 in Perth, Australia, and that was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Jeff Howard had that one pried loose by Houston, a freshman long stick midfielder, but Crownhart, nice job on the GB. He's looking for a rip. He'll take the rip. He'll have it denied by Perliti again.
It's that same thing about changing the angle, the elevation of the shots.
Well, Bradway's made a living here tonight at ASU going top shelf.
Yes, he has. And I think he's made a season that way. How many goals did you say he had?
I think I've got him for 5 and 1 assist.
5 and 1. That's what, like we said, that's what he had last week.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's got 17 goals in 4 games. He's averaging 4 goals a game, according to my brain.
22 in the last 4. 22 points in the last 4. Nice ground
There you
ball.
go.
That's Gloyd.
Gloyd, Musa Gloyd, just going to graduate from graduate school.
They got him listed at 5'11", 190. But
Yeah.
he's a Mack truck, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he looks like a little bigger than that, huh?
Here's Falbo going to work. 1 minute left to play here in the 2018 season, and it's been a pleasure.
It sure has, and I'd like to thank you, Jeff, and also I'd like to thank Gail for doing a phenomenal job with the camera, but for letting me in your little business here, and I'm having a great time. Hope we all did it justice, and
Well, Vito comes up short, and who was backing up best? Well, it was
that was pretty
Arizona.
close. Giving it to JP. Arizona ball.
Well, JP has to be happy with himself for the most part in this game. Up ahead to Crown Heart with 22 seconds left on the clock. Well, Arizona's going to drop to 2-9, and the Sun Devils will finish the regular season at 500 at 7-7, and they'll be making another trip to the postseason.
To the Southwestern Lacrosse Conference playoffs.
0.1 seconds on the clock.
I think they can blow the whistle, don't you?
And that's it. The ball game is over. And our final score here from Sitton Field on the campus of the University of Arizona. Congratulations to the Arizona State Sun Devils. They win it by a final score of, it's 13-5. Let's take a quick time out, and we'll come back to wrap things up in just a moment. Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today. We are back here as we wrap things up. Final score, Arizona State 13, U of A 5. Tough season in his first year for Matt Blamey, but I think a lot of good recruiting is going to turn things around next year. We've got some great players coming in, I know, and I think this program's in good hands, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to for next year. And for Arizona State University, they finished the season winning 4 of their last 5, and we wish them the best of luck in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Arizona State is now going to represent the state of Arizona. And as much as we...
as well as Grand Canyon.
And Grand Canyon, absolutely. That's right. Good correction there. But, yeah, I think the future is bright. They have a terrific recruiting class coming in, quite a big recruiting class, actually. But, you know, until guys get on the field, it's still another recruiting class. And but it's always good to look forward to the next season and to have a positive attitude during the summer, to work hard at your game, to improve what you can improve. Every athlete in every sport, that's all they do during their off season, whatever their off season is. And that's, you've got to get better. And these guys have to work a little harder, spend a little more time in the gym maybe. But I don't want to make any comments like that. I think the coaching staff is in charge of all that, and they'll do the best they can, and we'll be singing a different tune here next year. That's what I think.
All right, so for Mickey Miles Felton, Matt Blamey, the head coach, Jeff Bassett, who is so instrumental, Mr. Merriman of Casino Mines Ranch, wonderful wine. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see him in a few minutes. This is Jeff Lowry with APNvideo.com saying so long from Sitton Field in the Old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona. So long, everybody.